This program is the Medley Show, and my name is Cecil Egbele. For those of you just watching for the first time, week after week, we get to discuss different topics that has to do with you. You are an important part of this program, so that's why the program is the Medley Show, where anything and everything can be discussed. Today on the program, it's going to be quite different. It's going to be quite unique. We'll try to check our general well-being, our health. And precisely, let me just start with one very common ailment, a sickness, a disease, I don't know. Cancer. Yes, when you hear cancer, many people believe, and we're pretty religious in this country. Everything is, God forbid, it's not going to happen. But it's always good to watch your health. It's always good to take preventive measures, and if you get to discover that you happen to have cancer, what's the first thing you do? How do you get to manage it? How do family and friends around you help you cope with it? Anyhow, we'll be talking cancer and general health on the program today. Now, we will start with a cancer survivor who has agreed to come on set and tell her story. Telling a story is for you to learn a thing or two, to let you know that one is not a death sentence outrightly, but you just need to make sure you do your part to see that you stay alive. I actually want you alive. Cecil Egbele is my name, and I want you alive, and you're watching the Medley Show. It's time to meet my guest, and my guest is a pretty lady on white, and her name is Favor Etsuke. Favor, thank you very much for coming around.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Favor is a cancer survivor, like I've just said. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she is here with her husband, Dennis. It's okay. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Her husband is also you're into ICT.
Yeah.
Yes.
Software developer.
Software developer.
Yes.
Okay. I guess we need to bring you on sometime to talk about I think software development, because I know many Nigerians, many young people are always, they get to create things, they're always in the computer. And if I need an option B job, I need something, side hustle they call it, right? Yes, I could find somewhere in the ICT sector to see how I can get to learn anything.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, to talk about that another time. Favor.
Yeah.
Really nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Favor is also an author. You wrote that book, Kids Too Can Cook. Your kids can cook too. Okay, yes. Yeah. I mean, I always see that book. Whenever I see that book, I say, oh, Favor, I hope you're getting better.
And the funny thing too is I wrote a book on food and fitness. So cancer came to me as a shock. Because I'm into healthy eating, I'm into fitness and all that.
Okay, good. I was just going to ask, maybe you were not eating right, but then I thought she wrote a book about the cookbook.
Yes.
Then I said no, that can't be. Oh, maybe she's not doing enough exercise. But she has a good physique, like the much I know.
Yes.
So tell us, when did you get to first discover you had this? Because I know that they'll tell us those check lines.
Yes, I do self-examination. I think that time I was even breastfeeding. I've heard some doctors say that when your pregnancy and breastfeeding prevents breast cancer. So I always argue with them that I don't understand. If it does, then why did it happen to me? Because the kind of cancer that came to me was not hormonal and all those things. So I have 4 children. I breastfed exclusively, breastfed till like 18 months for the 3 of them. Then this 4th one, I'm breastfeeding and I felt a lump. I said, no, this one is not coagulation. Because sometimes when you are breastfeeding, you feel like some milk has joined together somewhere. But it felt odd and there was pain. But when I called the doctor, he was like, no, it's not possible. Can't be breastfeeding and have lump. I said, no, this one is lump. I know a lump. I know my breast. This is lump. He said no. He now said, okay, go and check. I went to the hospital. The doctor did this thing checked. I was like, it's true, this is a lump.
Wow. Wait. How do you know a lump? Like, it's going to be different from the one already in it?
Yes, it's like a seed, like an orange seed.
Like an orange seed?
Yes, small as that. But when it's in your breast, it doesn't look that small. Doesn't feel, but it feels.
So when you're checking it, you feel it that small, or you just feel what?
Yes, you feel it. You can see it. Mine was even standing out. I could see it. If I lie face back on my back, it would just be popping out. I don't like.
And you told your husband about it?
Yes, I showed him. I was like, this looks like a lump. And then there was a vein crossing it, so I was like, he's not looking innocent. It's like, this is a lump. So when the doctor checked, she confirmed that it's I think that 2 cm or so. That is a small lump, that I should go and scan it and just be sure. So we did ultrasound. And they said yes. I wasn't even praying. I was like, I was still finding it hard to understand that maybe it's benign lump, or maybe it's just, sometimes you can have lumpy breast. I know of a cousin who has lumpy breast, that there's always lump in her breast. I just felt maybe it's one of those things.
That's supposed to be normal?
Yeah, there are some people with lumpy breast.
Wait, Dennis, when she first felt it and told you that and said that, I think there is something like a lump, or what was your reaction during that whole period?
That initial concept, not our portion.
Yes.
We still need to do this test. Yeah. Because we are aware of constant self-examination. Not just for the women now, even the men, since you go for scanning. So, but it's for her. Are you ready for the test? And she says, why not? So I was there to give her all the support. But in my heart, the journey, we know what it is, because I lost my elder sister to it. Both of us, we were taking her to one hospital to the other. Before it was discovered, I think it was bone marrow cancer. It was too late.
Wow.
The second chemo shot was when she gave up the ghost. I think then.
What stage did they call that?
Stage 4.
Yeah. Stage 4 is the final stage.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. When you discovered yours, it was still
very early.
Okay, that's the early stage.
Stage 1.
It was still very early. You can call it stage 1 or stage 2, I guess.
Stage 1 is a very early stage.
It was very early. At that point, if maybe I'd met an oncologist, it would have been easier. I think that's the problem most of us have. When you are dealing with cancer, you are talking to a general practitioner instead of talking to an oncologist. And that one is supposed to refer you. Yes. Once the doctor knows there's cancer, he refers you to an oncologist, but most people will not refer you. Some want to treat themselves, and at the end of the day, you are mismanaged. And
did you think about herbs? I know that some people say, if there is this particular herbs, if you use this herbs, it's going to shrink it. It's going to.
If we talk about that, I don't think this show will
maybe
this will be part 1, then we'll do part 2.
Give us a summary of the summary.
When it was diagnosed, because I wasn't diagnosed immediately, I found that lump because I was in Calabar. So I went to Abuja. I had to do a biopsy for that first one to discover that it was cancer. When it was discovered that it was cancer, as I told people around me that, they say I have breast cancer. It's not your passion. Don't do chemo. If you do chemo, you will die. Don't go to this hospital. If you go to that hospital, people don't come out alive. So I was thinking, because my sister-in-law actually died at her second shot of chemo. So there was that belief that if maybe I really go and do chemo, I will die. So that kind of delayed me, because people were now bringing all sorts. You bring this stem cell, you bring this. There's nothing. You just ask me, what did you not take?
Religious wise, drink water, stand in the middle of the road, swallow.
Yes.
Differences. Throw yourself on the altar, fast and pray.
Yes. Some pastors will say you need to come and sleep at the altar. You don't have faith. That's why this thing is not working. People were hitting me left, right, and center. But it's until it's like at the end, my surgeon told me that if you listen to these people, they end up pushing you to the late stage, that when you now decide that you want to do chemo and you die at the shot of chemo, they'll now say, we not tell you, Shebi, you have died now. But now that you're still strong and it's still there, do your treatment and get it over and done with. But the cost did not allow me to start treatment on time, and I had to physically, mentally, with everything I have, block and shut out everybody, every noise, everything. Even my husband, I wasn't talking to him.
Then I traveled.
Just because I said, let me go and let me do this chemo. If he's going to kill me, let him just kill me. Let me just die. Because I was tired of the whole thing. Because at the end of the day, when I was taking all these things, herbs, stem cell, this one, that one, the cancer was there, silently regrowing back, and the breast was now bleeding.
Okay, when we get back, you tell us. We'll go on a feature break now. When we get back, you tell us the journey when you started, because we have some of your clips. I know of I saw the one where you had to cut off your hair. I want to understand. Do everybody really have to cut off their hair? I mean, okay, you actually make the hair fall off,
yes,
right?
Your hair fall off.
Your hair falls off.
Yeah.
Okay, then I want to believe your family was they had a part in it, because somehow not everybody for house now sick, right? Like we say. Yeah. All right, so let's take this break where we'll take a look at some statistics of some cancer statistics globally and in Nigeria, and then we'll be right back.
Like all things which have many varieties and types, so also does cancer, which has many types and are named after places they affect. Popular cancers include breast cancer. This cancer affects both men and women, but is more prominent in women than men. Lung cancer, prostate cancer, which strictly affects men. Colon and rectal cancer, or cancer of the large intestine and anus. Skin cancer, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, cancer of the uterus, leukemia or cancer of the blood, pancreatic cancer, thyroid cancer, liver cancer, and much more. According to Project Pink Blue, breast cancer dominated the number of cancer cases in Nigeria in 2020. It recorded a total of 27,540 cases, followed by cervical cancer with 14,280 cases. Liver cancer came third with 12,240 cases, while prostate cancer and colorectal cancer completed the top 5 cancer cases with 12,240 and 4,182 cases respectively. The site also listed the top causes of cancer deaths in Nigeria as breast cancer with 14,400 cases, liver cancer with 11,520 cases, prostate cancer with 9,360 cases, cervical cancer with 8,640 cases, and colorectal cancer with 2,880 cases. Medicaid Cancer Center approximate 40,000 children develop cancer yearly. Cancer is caused by the interaction between a person's genetic factors and 3 categories of external agents, including physical substances or agents such as ultraviolet and ionizing radiation, chemical substances such as asbestos, components of tobacco smoke, alcohol, aflatoxin, a food contaminant, and arsenic, a drinking water contaminant, and biological agents such as infections from certain viruses, bacteria, or parasites. Cancer risk can be reduced by avoidance of tobacco use, eating a healthy diet including fruits and vegetables, doing physical activity on a regular basis, avoiding or reducing consumption of alcohol, getting vaccinated against HPV and hepatitis B if you belong to a group for which vaccination is recommended, reducing exposure to outdoor air pollution and indoor air pollution, amongst others. WHO says that between 30 and 50% of cancers can currently be prevented by avoiding risk factors and implementing existing evidence-based prevention strategies. It also says cancer can also be reduced by early detection, appropriate treatment, and care for patients who develop cancer. Many cancers have a high chance of cure if diagnosed early and treated appropriately, according to the World Health Organization.
Right now we know that of course there are different kinds of cancer. You said the one that took the life of your sister-in-law is which one? Bone.
Cancer of the bone.
Cancer of the bone. Wow, that's a whole different one. So tell us, you now decided you are going to do this, and that period you said you had to shut out everybody.
Yes, because everybody around you, the people have the when you're around people, it's like they know better. They feel like they know they are the doctors for you. If you do, I don't know, maybe they've not experienced this thing before. It's what people have heard that they're easy to judge. That if you do chemo, you're going to die. Take this one, take this one. So I was taking all those things and they were not working, and I needed to do the chemo. So by the time I decided I want to do chemo, everybody was like, this one, she has prepared to die.
So but you shut out family at a point?
Yes.
Why? They were supposed to be your go-to.
Yes, but since they are not supporting me to do the right treatment, I had to shut them out, in the sense that, not that don't come close to me, in the sense that I didn't want to hear anymore, don't do chemo. I had to take the driver's seat of my life at this point, that because I want to stay alive because of my children. So let me be the one making the decision. And since my husband was not even around, and it was the pandemic.
Your husband was not around?
No.
Mr. Dennis, they say that it's a journey together. Where were you? What happened?
Now I can talk smiling. If you ask me this question, tears will come out before you hear me talk.
Are you serious?
I was in Sierra Leone. I thought of even going by road. Google said it would take me 7 days plus. And I thought of security, bandits. How can I? The airport, everything was on lockdown because of COVID.
Okay.
So, but I was praying, and when she said she shut us down, when you send message, you're not getting feedback, she was really confused. Where she had to take that decision, well, I think there's blood.
Yes, the breast started to bleed.
So I said, go ahead.
The what?
The breast was bleeding. Like when you
press
but
it. Before you traveled to Sierra Leone, you already knew.
She was on the alternative medicine.
Okay,
she was doing everything possible.
Yes, that was before he left, because you had a job, and because we need money for this journey. So since he got the ICT job in Sierra Leone, to just quickly go and deploy or something.
One of the apps I do.
Yes. On getting there was lockdown.
There was lockdown.
Yes. So I was by myself. So like, but he was not like, can't you wait for me? Let me come. I said, wait for you. There's lockdown. We don't even know when it's going to be lifted. And the one doctor told me that if you are going to wait for your husband, the money he's going to go and get for this treatment is going to be for burial. He said, I'm not trying to scare you, but he just has to be frank with me. So decide, do you want to wait? Because what he's seeing is the thing is advancing very fast, and because it's one of the most aggressive kind of cancer. So like, okay, so we have to make the decision. And if I'm asking people, my people around me, they'll be like, don't do it, let us pray, let us take this one, take this stem cell, take this this alternative therapy, take this one. So that's why I now shut them out. I wasn't talking to them anymore. I didn't even tell them when I started the treatment. When I went to take the first shot was when I came back, and they were like, where did you go? I said, I went to do chemo. So I went to do chemo. So that was how the journey began. And at the first shot, the doctor called me. I was like, after some few hours, you start feeling, but don't be scared. You're a strong person. And this one. So a few days, like the next day, I was all over the place, throwing up, can't eat, just nothing goes down, can't eat anything. To try to drink water is coming out, and I couldn't do anything. I told the doctor I'm not coming back, but he was very empathetic. Yes, towards me, encouraged me. Was on the phone with me for like 1 hour. Says, see, depression in cancer is what you cannot afford to have. You cannot afford to be depressed at this point. Just be strong, get out of it. After a few days, you feel better. And I felt better after a few days of that chemo. But chemo is every 3 weeks, and you have to go for like 6 months and do it.
Chemo, was it a private hospital? I know that there are not many cancer centers in Nigeria, are there?
They have some private ones. Those are very expensive, but like National Hospital was where.
That's where you went?
Yes.
Oh, so National Hospital is where you went to?
Yeah, National Hospital has like one of the best oncologists. Yeah. It's like all the oncologists in Abuja are in National Hospital. And yeah, that's where I did my chemo.
All right. So how long did you get to battle this?
I would say it's a journey that I'm still going, because after the treatment, your chemo lasts. There's a chemo that lasts for 6 months. After then, you have like what they call the other one, targeted therapy that I had to take for 1 year because I was HER2 positive. I had to take HER2 positive cancer. There are different types. There are like
okay, yes,
three
I was
different
just going to
types of
ask you
cancer,
to
breast
explain it
cancer.
in English.
There are different types of like about 3 different types of breast cancer, and that's one thing most people don't know. When I saw some people like, what type of breast cancer? I say, which one? Breast cancer and breast cancer. Like, no.
Yeah, I would have thought
no, they're like, are you a doctor? I said, I'm not a doctor, but at least I should know what is wrong with me. You should ask questions. So mine was HER2 positive. There are some you have double, triple negative, triple positive, 1 positive, like that. So but mine was HER2 positive, and so one doctor told me I chose the most expensive cancer. That's like, it's me that chose it.
Most expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get. Please, you can be part of this conversation by reaching us on our phone line, which is showing on your screen, 081 177 82020. That's our phone line. You can ask favor a question, or you can join the conversation. Tell us your cancer story in brief, if or maybe the story of some. If you're a survivor and you want to share with us your story, please do send a message via text message or WhatsApp to our phone line. Or do you have someone around you that is struggling with it? You want to also talk to us about it, or someone is worried and is thinking, I should go the herbal way, I should go the alternative way, or like something you said, stand in the middle of the road and drink. I don't think that thing have actually happened. No, it couldn't have happened. But I see people trying to call. Please don't call. Just send text messages. All right. So, when you mentioned lockdown period, I take it that's 2020, but
yes,
that wasn't when you started battling this, was it?
I was diagnosed in 2019.
2019.
Yes, but 2020 was when I started chemo. But from that 2019, I think October or so, that was when I was actually diagnosed. I did the first surgery. In 2020, around March, that was when I started chemo. After the chemo, I went for surgery. I had the full mastectomy, so they took out the breast.
Okay, they took out
the breast. Artificial.
Don't be deceived.
Artificial. Yes, artificial breast. They
there.
took out the breast. Even early this year, I made up my mind that I want to have a double mastectomy, and they took out the second breast.
Yeah, because it's is it possible that it might spread or something?
Yes. And the breast was giving me problem, although it was benign, and some people were like, don't remove it, the thing is benign. Is it your breast? Exactly. I want to remove it. Like, though there's stigma attached to it, because people around me that know, yes, be like, you can't be half person, be half body and everything. Some people say, you have cancerous genes, and some people just make some kind of comments that they don't know affects you psychologically. But I think I've grown thick skin.
Wow, you've indeed grown thick skin. You've indeed grown thick skin. I would like to hear your story a little, but maybe you want to share with us very briefly your sister-in-law story, because the bone I don't think it's a very common one, right? The bone marrow bone.
I think it's common, because
so like we know for breast cancer, you check for lump and everything. What do you check for? How does this happen?
We were both in this journey with her, trying to locate where the problem was coming. When I asked,
what was the feeling first of all to know that?
Oh no, you don't want to go there.
The pain.
Okay,
when I was driving,
okay,
my late sister Gladys, any slight bump on the road,
yes,
she screams.
The pain from the back.
She was blaming it on a split disc at the spinal cord. So we went to MRI, did all the scan, all sort of tests. They keep saying, oh, madam, it's your spinal cord, it's split. Okay, take this. We did all sort of scanning. We even sent some abroad for. We were planning to take her to India. The money was not there. Like towards the final stage, in UBTH or so, they discovered it was bone marrow cancer. Wow. Then she started
bone marrow.
Bone marrow. You cannot even tell.
Like
you can't.
It's happened. Is that
the bone connects to the spinal cord, so it started disintegrating from the spinal cord.
Because it's going to be confusing. That sometimes they say the way your sitting position is what's making your bone marrow, have. So yes. I mean, it wasn't.
Okay, yeah. When I was asking her if she could recall where this pain started, she said she was trying to raise up her store gates, Then she felt like a snap on her back, and the pain lasted for a period of time. So she was thinking that could be the reason. Maybe that triggered.
No, I don't think so. One thing with cancer, it may just be growing silently. I think because that bone as it's growing, you will not know until it breaks the bone. Then that's when you will now know that
the bones
you
became
have
soft.
cancer. And by then, it's already advanced stage. And that's the same thing with breast cancer. So the lump can just be there growing silently, especially for people that don't do their self-breast examination. To just be growing, and that's what kills most people, late presentation. By the time you've gone to the hospital and they check, they see that the lump is now even too big. It's already advanced. The treatment now becomes difficult.
Why son use faith?
Yes.
To delay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a quick message and we'll get back to the conversation. Mrs. Favor, please, is there anywhere I can access financial assistance? My friend is currently at the National Hospital. The cancer is stage 2, but there's no money for chemo. Did you? Of course, you faced financial.
I faced a huge. When they told me that my treatment, one injection is 309,000. And I need to take it every 3 weeks. I need to take 18. So the doctor just told me, do the maths. I was like, and that is not even for the full treatment. That's for just that particular injection. So I should calculate 309 times 18. That was close to 5-point-something million. They were like, how much do you have? Between me and my husband, we had like 40,000 naira. So like, I can't even start the treatment. But the doctor was so gracious. I was like, come and start the chemo, which is quite affordable first.
Oh, the chemo is more affordable than the injection?
Yes,
that
injection is for HER2 positive cancer patients. Why the other chemo is not as expensive, but it's about 100 or something thousand. Depends on the combination they are using for you. So I had to go online. I went to project Pink Blue. They helped me to put.
Oh, look at that! You when you didn't have your hair on.
Yes.
Oh, who is this?
Friends, that's
some friends.
Some friends that were helping
your child,
supporting.
The first son, our first boy.
Wow.
This was very chemo.
Like Favor, your hair was like
everything was falling apart.
Nothing comes up.
Like it was
chemo.
Actually just falling off.
My nails were turning black. Yeah, that's
a very good friend.
She always comes to me anytime we're doing I'm going for chemo, they go with me.
People keep calling. I know people want to, I understand. You want to speak to Favor, but sorry, it's just a text and a WhatsApp only. Send it as much as possible. I'll see the much I can read. Let me read a few. Good day, my name is Udwak Michael. I want to ask, is there any potential effects or cancer potential after a girl did breast tumor surgery? I don't get it. Let me see. Please, I want to ask, is there any potential effects or cancer potential after a girl did breast tumor surgery?
As in, is she trying to say if you take out a lump, then you now have cancer because you took out the lump?
Yes, it's not clear. Maybe you want to send a message again. Okay, someone is asking a question I'm not going to read on. Sorry, you didn't even write your name, so that's good. Who is this? I really don't get what you are saying. Okay. Now, I admire the couple. My question is, please, what are the causes of breast cancer and can it be transferred genetically? All right, so what did the doctor tell you?
Yeah, people think that, yes, there's family history of cancer. There are some people, but mine, there was really no family history of cancer in my family. So I asked the doctor, what did I do wrong? I'm a fitness person. When I'm pregnant, you see me jogging. I don't compromise on healthy eating. So what caused my own? They say if you are breastfeeding, it prevents breast cancer. I did breastfeed. I breastfed exclusively. I don't joke with it till 18 months. So what caused mine?
So what caused
So it was like sometimes you can't really know. You can't really know. It's free radicals. Some cells will just go out of hand and just go and start. So it can happen to anybody.
It can happen to anybody.
It can happen to anybody.
All right, let's see the much you can take. I'd like to, please, don't call. I'm trying to read your messages. And once again, our phone line is 081 177 82020. It's showing on your screen, and it's text or WhatsApp only number. My name is Mohammed Kolo. Please tell Favor that she is indeed favored.
Amen.
Please tell us where you are writing from. That she has survived and is exhibiting this great faith in self, God, and survival is indeed a testimony to be favored. Please let her remain focused. She's an inspiration to many. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Amen.
All right, Mohammed Kolo, thank you very much too for that one. Favor indeed. He says you are favored. Your name is just following you. I'm currently. Good afternoon, ma. I'm currently watching, and someone is calling. I'm currently watching your show with Mrs. Favor. Please, I really appreciate the fact that you are alive, and I pray that you continue to grow in all areas of your life.
Amen.
You got through cancer, and you have overcome, so you will be blessed. Okay.
Amen.
All right. So it's good to have these encouraging words. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to what's up. Okay. What's up, my name is Mrs. Iyeyemi. What is the meaning of chemo, and what are the early signs of breast cancer? Well, for
chemotherapy is a treatment, just like you have medicine for malaria. Chemotherapy is like medicine for cancer, and there are different types. And then
that's when you go through that whole radiation, that thing.
No, that's radiotherapy. After you've done
radiotherapy.
Chemotherapy, then you now do radiotherapy. Radiotherapy is after chemo. Then maybe sometimes they need to do radiotherapy before they take out the breast, or after they take out the breast. Mine was after they took out the breast. I went through 6 weeks of radiotherapy. That period, you don't let water touch that spot. At some point, there was a small sweat that just touched mine, and it was so bad that it's like they poured hot water on me. It could not heal until I had finished radiotherapy. So that one is different, just to ensure that the DNA or something of the cancer is killed. Anyone that escaped chemo, radiotherapy can address that. Okay.
Good afternoon, ma. This is JP from Abuja. I'm currently watching your show. Favor, you are really a strong woman, Mrs. Favor. Indeed, she's a strong woman, because I mean, there's so much. Okay, which messages is this? Now, my name is Lulu from Lagos. Please, can breast lump cause cancer after operation? Can breast lump cause cancer after operation?
Breast lump, when they take out the lump, they now need to test it to know if it's cancerous or benign. Okay. So if it's benign, then there's
benign
no cancer
means
there.
it's not cancerous.
Yes. If it's cancerous, they'll say it's malignant.
It's malignant.
Yes,
okay.
And when they take it out at that point, you need to start treatment like immediately, otherwise the cancer grows back from that spot, and sometimes it starts growing faster than before. Okay.
My name, Miriam by name. Miriam, where are you writing from? Ma'am, you said you were breastfeeding when you first felt the lump. Yes. Hope the cancer does not have effect on the baby.
No, those are part of the stigma we get. People will be like, they feel like cancer is transferred to other people. So sometimes when I sit close to people that know that I was a survivor, they want to like shift so that it's not my portion, because I want to be close to a cancer patient. I may now have cancer.
Yes, can you imagine?
Yes.
So then it's so sick, you were so close to her. Were you not afraid you were going to get cancer?
No.
I know, it's kidding.
I even remember that period. We even had I had COVID at some point too. People were like,
she passed out.
Yes, people were like, this one, she's going to just die, because people with cancer, once you have COVID, yes, you can hardly make it. But well, I thank God I'm here.
Well, you've got quite a story. COVID and cancer, and during the period, any hospitals were very,
yes,
careful.
But I have to go out. I have to go and do my treatment. Even some of the nurses were now shielding themselves. They don't want to be close to patients, because patients were transferring COVID to the doctors and to the nurses. So. Okay,
Favor, we have so many messages. My phone line is almost crashing my phone right now. So we'll just take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll continue our discussion with Favor.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Break to take a breather from the story Favor has been telling us. I mean, I really hate to bring you the person stories, but sometimes we need to learn some of these things, how to take care of our health so much. And I appreciate the fact that you are reaching us on our phone line 081-177-82020. For those of you trying to call, I will not pick your call. Just send a message. Send a message. It's WhatsApp and text message only. Like you, 0904. You know yourself. Please don't call. All right. Joining us on set, we have a family physician who will join this conversation, and this time he'll take it wider. We'll look at other areas, other conditions, other ailments as we get on with the rest of the program. Dr. Emeka, that your surname is tongue twisting for me. Ekwe Belam. Ekwe Belam. Yes. Oh, it's a B. Okay, Ekwe Belam. Nice to have you.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Family physicians, you are the ones that check that. What exactly do family physicians do?
Well, family physicians, we take care of the family in totality, in general. So from cradle to grave, we take care of, cut across all the levels of the family, from the child to the grandparents.
Yes. He's a gentle talker. He's speaking so, but all right, it's okay. Now this is the thing. I want to know how you come into a case like hers. She just one day suddenly felt she had a lump, and she comes to meet a physician like you. So is that part of what at the first stage of breast cancer, for instance? I don't know what it is. I just know I felt a lump. Oh, let me call my family physician. I got to call you. So, how do you take it from there?
Okay, well, as a family physician, like I said, we are caregivers. That's the first thing. So, on arrival, you describe first. You want to be sure that you have a lump, and you say, okay, we now want to know where the location of this lump is. So from there, we now want you to, how did you find out about it? Was it from self-breast examination, or is it from your partner, or or is it an incidental finding, probably when you were having your bath or something? So we'll now take the history surrounding it. So for a lady, how old? I don't know, how old are you, please?
I'm 40 now.
Okay, 40. Okay.
But when she discovered she was less
37.
Okay,
yeah.
So we now want to start asking questions. Now, one of the questions we want to find out is, first, is it the lump that you noticed first, or was there any discharge in from your nipple?
I was even breastfeeding.
Yes, or you were breastfeeding. Now, what is the shape of the breast? Are there any physical changes surrounding the outside of the breast, of which we call more like dimpling? Yeah, dimpling. We want to find out, okay, yes, if there was. Now, what was the breast milk that was coming out? Was it bloody? Was it clear fluid? Then, apart from that, you still want to find out, okay, apart from this breast, is it also on this other side of the breast? You want to know if there's a family history. Then you want to go further to find out. Yes.
That's a whole that's a whole lot. Anyhow, she's
Can I ask the doctor?
Okay, please.
They said if you're breastfeeding, you cannot have lump.
If you're breastfeeding,
you can't have lump. And when you breastfeed, it prevents breast cancer.
Well, yes, it's one of the preventive measures, but you know, the physiology or the anatomy surrounding the breast is simple. You know, there are fatty tissues, then there are lobules, of which are just, you know, they're like pockets of lobules of the, then there are ducts. So those ducts are like the straws that take them to the nipple. Then from the nipple, you now start breastfeeding.
So which means it's not 100% true that when you're
well, it's not 100% because if before then one of the lobules or one of the ducts was affected, you know, probably at that period it does not become invasive. It doesn't spread to other parts. So at that point, yes, but at that point it is not. It is already there. It is already established. So from there it can progress.
Guys,
but if it wasn't there,
let's do this.
Yeah.
These my people, they are my very people, my people in whom I'm well pleased. They have thousands, hundreds of questions right now. So let's see the much you can take. Then, Doctor, if there's some that you want to react to, do that very, very quickly. I've taken WhatsApp earlier. Let me go to text messages. Let me see those who sent earlier. Good afternoon. Oh my God. Okay, let's start from this one. All right, let's do this. Good day, Mrs. Favor. Watching your show. I just want to let you. I want to know how you. Please, I want to know how you do to get to be so positive. I want to know how you stay positive. But let's pause. Just note that. Let's take another one. Good afternoon. I have 2 people that have breast cancer. Can I get the record CD of this program? Cancer. Yeah, you can get to watch the program on YouTube. To be uploaded on YouTube. You can on NTA series. Good afternoon, ma. My name is Obinna Victoria. I'm also a breastfeeding mother. How will someone know if you have cancer when you're breastfeeding? I don't know, Favor, you can tell us this, but you really, okay, you just say you noticed it.
Yes, I felt the lump, and I knew that it was lump.
All right,
so I went to the hospital and confirmed that it was a lump.
Okay, who is this? Hello, ma. What's the meaning of HIV? Seriously. Okay. Well, just tell us on HIV. Human immune virus. Yeah.
Human immune deficiency.
Yeah, immune deficiency virus. So, well, you can just Google that one. We're not taking that today, so just please pause on that. Just want to take as many as possible. Just want to thank God for your life. May the good Lord continue to keep you strong and in good health. God is good. He is wonderful. Edwin from a Delta State. Hello, I am with you. My question about the cancer. How can you know that you have cancer? My name is Gagure. How can you know that you have cancer? Now, that's another thing, no? Because she has a sister-in-law who died of cancer. And so it says cancer of the bone marrow. And now, when you're trying to I was trying to ask, what kind of, like for breast, we know, you check for a lump. For something like bone marrow, what are you looking out for? Because it's maybe your spinal cord, and sometimes they tell you the way you sit, maybe your back will be aching. I don't want to mistake that. I don't, because of that, I don't start feeling like, hey, am I having bone marrow cancer now? You know, take it quickly.
Okay, well, when you talk about cancers, first, let me start with the word tumors. Tumors, it could be benign. That means it's not life-threatening. It's not life-threatening. It's not going to kill, and it could be cancerous, malignant, like we say, described in medicine. And what that means is an abnormal growth that has lost control. The body can no longer control it. So some of these cancers, they have risk factors. So it depends on the type of cancer that we're talking about. The commonest risk factor probably is there family history. Is there an abnormal gene mutation? Is it race? Some people, just the mere fact that you're black, and I mean you stand a risk of certain diseases and certain
tell us, pause on that one. Tell us, just for the fact that you're black, what are some of the common ones for those of us black besides cancer?
Well, there are a lot of them. Let's start from the males. Prostate cancers, all the prostates, those ones. The fact that you're black, you're at risk of it. Even the fibroid that is common in women too, is more common in blacks than it is in the Caucasians. So you see, so that's a risk factor that you cannot rule out. It is non-modifiable. We have the modifiable. The other thing to your lifestyle, what do you do? Do you take a lot of alcohol? Do you smoke? Your diet, there's sedentary lifestyles. Do you take some drugs or medications that could predispose you to some of this, like people that take a lot of hormonal contraceptives, they are at risk of certain illnesses. So it's quite a huge risk factor. So for cancers, like I say, if you have some of these risk factors, you're already at risk of it. So your lifestyle can now fasten the process of it coming out. And some of these things, you don't really have control over them.
You know,
but there are symptoms that you look out for, like somebody that has bone cancer. That means the bone marrow, which is supposed to be producing blood. Person
yeah, but what did the person do? It's not the person's fault. Anyhow, let's just pause there. It's really, I'm having so many questions to ask you. Why is it that it's blacks, Africans, that we have the ASSS and everything? When you're out there, they tell you that in advanced class, they don't do all those. ASS, there's nothing like AS and all the stuff there. It's here we're so concerned about it. When you talk about lifestyle, let's take a look at some of the things we eat that may trigger cases like cancer. I know you just mentioned a couple of them. Let's take a look at it in this feature, and then Dr. Emeka and Favor will be back for the last lap of the program, and then I'll read your messages, of course.
According to the World Health Organization, Africa records around 1.1 million new cases of cancer, resulting in up to 700,000 deaths each year. Meat such as beef, fish, pork or chicken that is cooked above 300 degrees Fahrenheit forms a harmful chemical that puts people's health at a higher risk of diseases. The WHO has classified processed meat, which includes smoked meat, as Group 1 carcinogenic, based on evidence of its link to colorectal cancer. For oils that are extracted artificially from vegetables, which have some mix of hydrogen preservatives, increase the risk of cancer among its consumers. Harvard School of Public Health says that trans fat, that is in hydrogenated oil, also promotes inflammation and immune system overactivity. This has been linked to health issues that include heart diseases, diabetes, and cancer. Did you know that cans of processed foods contain chemical compounds that increase the risk of having breast cancer or prostate cancer? The Harvard Health Publishing School says that every 10% increase in consumption of ultra-processed foods was associated with a 12% higher risk for cancer in general and an 11% increase in the risk for breast cancer. Taking in too much food, soft and alcoholic drinks that contain a lot of sugar can also lead to weight gain and increase the risk of obesity and diabetes, which may increase the risk of cancer. The World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research say that being overweight or obese throughout adulthood is associated with an increased risk of 12 different cancers. Eating a healthy diet that is full of nutrients will not only improve your health, but will also help reduce the risk of developing certain.
Okay, Favor and Doctor, they're already having their patient and doctor session on set, and many of you are still calling. But you know what? Let's see. Doctor, we matched with us. I know that we were supposed to discuss other areas of general health, but from the messages coming in, they are all on the cancer. So let's just see how we can take a number of these ones. There was someone that was asking you a question. No, I can't find it anymore. Please relate my question to doctor. I think we've taken this already, but the question we asked, please, I want to ask, is there any potential effect or cancer potential after a girl did breast surgery? I know we've asked the question already, wants to know if a girl that does breast surgery, can the person get cancer again? Quickly.
Okay, well, it depends on the type of surgery that you did, because there are several surgeries for breast cancer. We have the lumpectomy, of which they just go in and remove the lump. We have the mastectomy, of which they just go and remove the breast. We have the radical, of which they also remove part of the lymph nodes because it has spread to those parts. Then there are also prophylactic and reconstructive mastectomy that you could do. Prophylaxis is you just want to remove the other breast so that it doesn't transfer to the other one. And we also have the reconstructive, where you want to just form the breast back so that the woman won't feel that she doesn't have her breast.
Okay, that's an expensive.
So
okay,
now it depends on the level of on the type of surgery, like I said, and the level of spread or the stage of the disease too.
Okay.
Yes. So.
All right. So let's say, good afternoon, Cecil. I'm Comrade Christian, watching your program from Makurdi, Benue State. I have this question: what is chemotherapy of a thing? Is it only done for breast cancer? Chemo. I know chemo. People are asking about chemo. You know, I just asked you. Chemo is. I used to think it's that radiation thing.
No, it's not. It's not radiation thing. There are different levels of treatment for cancers or for breast cancer. You know, we have the surgery, we have the radiotherapy, we have the chemotherapy, we have the.
So they want to know the chemo. Tell
therapy.
us. You know. Break it down in as simple terms as possible. When I say the chemo, exactly what it is. Yes, for the radiotherapy, we know that's when you go into that light thing, and so in simple terms, that chemo, what exactly is it?
Well, chemo, these are medical drugs that you give most times to shrink. Drugs? Yes, it's drugs that you give to shrink the size. Most times, it's given to shrink the size of the mass before you go into surgery. You know, and for the radiotherapy, most times is done after the surgery. You know, just to kill some of the cells.
Very simple. Yes. I like the way you just answered it.
Then we now have the hormonal therapy. You know, some of these cancers, you know, they could be estrogen or progesterone sensitive and some other. So, you know, I use the hormonal therapy, or you could now combine all these therapies in the treatment of breast cancer.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel from Lagos. Help me ask Dr. Emeka, what are the common signs of breast cancer? Oh, okay, we've talked about breast cancer now. We've talked about the signs. They say you should check for lumps. Okay, someone was asking, I've missed that question already. Someone was asking if, did your husband, was he also helping you check for the lump? Say that because some ladies don't allow men to touch their breast. Someone asked the question actually.
No, I actually saw the lump and I showed it to him to feel it. Like, this is a lump. It was like, it's true, it feels like a lump. And then he checked other places for me to feel that is the only one that was there. Okay.
Good day. My name is Mary from Abuja. I'm really enjoying your program. God bless you guys. Hello, my name. Thank you for survival. But I want to ask, what are the causes of cancer? Not only breast in general, human body, and how to detect early. Maxwell Onoka from Enugu. Cancers, there are many. So how do you start? We can't start on the program. Maybe just tell us about besides breast. Now let's leave the breast. Tell us some others. We know this guy, Sam Sultan. He died of, I think it's truth or something.
Yeah,
how do I know that? Then there is the one of the blood. That's one that this guy Baki W, leukemia. Okay, that leukemia Baki W was the skin, right? I don't know what that is called. Well, then there's leukemia. So, but how do people get to detect this early? Because suddenly you guys will tell us that you have to wait till stage 3 or stage 4. We want to detect early. How?
Well, before we talk about the screening exercises, because for cancers the most important thing is the screening exercises that you do to detect, you know, if the person is at risk of some of these illnesses. You want to find out, you want to grab it, you want to discover it very early before it gets to a more malignant or a more, you know, irreversible stage. So, but before then, what are the risk factors? Like I talked about, you know, they are modifiable, they are non-modifiable. Modifiable, there are illnesses, there are cancers that are peculiar to women, there are those that are peculiar to men. So your sex is already a risk factor. Being a woman, being a man, you're already at risk. Age is already a risk factor. At what age? You know, there are cancers, yes, there are cancers that are, like for women, it's okay from 45 to 50 starts
but
going.
These days you see women 25 with breast cancer.
I agree with
you. Guys, I am really enjoying this conversation and it's fitting up very well.
You know, but these are just the basics, you know, these are just the basics. At 45, 50, if you come to the hospital.
Because they said that a woman, you cannot do mammogram until you're 40. So how will you now test to know if you have cancer when you are 25? You say you can't do mammogram.
We are running out of time already. We are practically out of time, not even running out of time. And there are hundreds, there are so many messages here I can't take. But this is very funny. I am not laughing. Watch me, I am not laughing. This person said, please ma'am, if you are involved in a fight and the person bites you or hits your breast and then there's a bruise, can it lead to cancer? I don't know. Of course, you can't. Even I know that one, that no. But you just need to still keep checking out for these things.
You should be thinking of something else.
For those of you asking, for those of you who would like to watch this again, I would like to actually enjoin you to do watch it again. Visit NTA series on our YouTube page and look for our program, The Medley Show, and you get to see this episode. Just watch it from tomorrow. It will be there. All right. So, Favor.
Yes, I would like to answer one question I asked, that how do I stay so positive about it, like my final words. Yes, cancer, there's a misconception that when you have cancer it's a death sentence, but when you make up your mind that you're going to fight it and stay positive about it, just make up your mind, encourage yourself, and then you can actually do it.
So do we say you're out of it now, or you're just
there's this mental health issues, psychological issues, and sometimes I'll just break down, but most times, because when I see my children, I see people that love me around me, it gives me I want to keep
last
going.
word, and very, very briefly from you. So how do we stay safe, stay healthy generally?
Okay, generally, first, lifestyle is very important in medicine. You must watch your weight. Your weight is very important. So you should try as much as possible to cut weight, because there are a lot of issues surrounding your excess weight. Your diet is very important. We prefer more green diet. Stop smoking entirely, cut down on alcohol, try and sleep more.
Doctor, are you sure you don't take alcohol? I suspect this. Anyhow, guys, thank you very much for doing this with us. We don't have so much time already. Thank you very much for sending in your messages. I appreciate it. I love you. Let's do this again in another 7 days.